What happens if the financial future of your business is under threat? How do you recover from an unfavorable financial period such as what we're going through right now, or even prevent such a period? I'm Kalila Reynolds, and it's time for another episode of Money Moves, JA, brought to you in partnership with EXIM Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. Errol Barnaby is back with us. He's the General Manager of EXIM's Finance Department. And keep watching, he's going to have a giveaway question for you at the end. Welcome back, Errol. Great to have you. You gave us some excellent tips last time. This week, we want to talk about preserving the financial future of your business, especially in this uncertain time that is so important. So, has the pandemic shifted the rules of accounting at all?
Well, the COVID-19 has had a significant impact on the financial sector. So much so that in terms of how the industry is now providing for its credit losses, that the accounting rules have to be changed. It certainly would have some impact on small business in how they look at their assets to the extent of their receivables. So I would say that yes, it will change the rules of how you apply your account, go about your accounting business.
How so?
As I mentioned, that if you look at the financial sector, it's right now they have to be taken into account future indicators as to how it impacts customer repaying on their loans. So they have the thing that they have to make provision for credit losses, for instance. I wouldn't rule out for a small business that you may have to take into account those persons who owe you. How you're going to project your inflows from them, because chances are they may be impacted on with the pandemic as well.
Right. So you'll have some and then some institutions will offer you moratoriums during this period.
Okay. So for financial, but you asked about the accounting rules, though, right? So, but if it is that you are in a situation where you are able to repay your loan, you have institutions you can go into. For instance, EXIM Cares. You can come into EXIM. You can sit down with the credit officers, and you can work out some moratorium with regard to the loans that you have. You can also seek to get your loans rescheduled or restructured so as not to get into a default situation with your loan payment, because it can impact your ability to borrow in the future.
So tell me, how much of a profit margin should a small business have?
It depends on the industry that you're in. A margin is basically what you have left after you have paid out all your expenses and so forth. So it's a percentage of the revenue that you derive from your trading activities. What is a reasonable average? I would say a reasonable average is 10%. 20% is a little bit high, but I would say if you go 5% thereabout, it might be a little too low. So I'm looking at 10% as a reasonable profit margin.
And this is,
small business.
And for a small business, micro business, this is after you pay yourself, right?
Yes. And you have that for reinvest into the business.
Absolutely. So how and this is a very important one during this time, if you have an irregular income, you have uncertain income, how can you budget?
Okay, first of all, you may have to have more than one budget. So the scenario one is that you budget at the lower end of your revenue. So you do the lesser intake, and then based on that, you do the lesser cost into it or expenses associated with that revenue. It maybe makes sense if you have unpredicted revenue. If it is that you have a steady income, then you probably can raise the bar a little bit more in terms of your expected inflows or revenue, and your expenses correspond to go with it. So if you, when it's uncertain, I would say take the lower end of your projection. And then each day you monitor your budget. If it is that you frequently have to review it, given what is happening, in COVID, you may have to go that route.
I think probably what you could do too, if you have a non-traditional payment schedule or it's irregular, you could take, if you've been in business for more than a year, take the average of the last year.
Yes,
maybe.
You can. If you see your business going forward, you may have to prioritize those payments as well. And there are some of them that you cannot escape. So you may have to treat those with priorities and to keep yourself in your business going.
Now, you spoke in the last episode about having a healthy cash flow. So what happens now? What should I do if I realize I have a negative cash flow?
Well, a negative cash flow is primarily you're spending more than what you're earning. Now, what I would encourage you to do if you see that coming on, then you should make sure you have a standby line of credit. Come to EXIM again, just in case you need to draw down, because you can make in profit, but you have a negative cash flow. Reason being because your customer pay you late, while your commitments are immediate.
Right.
So you can see yourself heading down that road. If it is that you need to cut your expenses in the meantime, you have to use that approach as well. And perhaps try to liquidate some of your assets if you can, so as to cover some of those, meet those obligations.
A lot of small business owners take the route of just not paying them or paying themselves last that month. So if they have things due, they just decide, I won't take my salary, I won't take my full salary right now, and make sure everything else is covered. Is that advisable?
Yes, it is. It's your equity is yours. You own the business. And if it is that you may have to make the sacrifice, you can lend yourself back the business back some of the cash that you have available to pay other prioritized expenditures.
When you look at whatever it is that you're selling, whether it's products or services, some areas are typically more profitable than others.
Yes.
If you run into those problems, should you at that time consider just dropping the least profitable areas?
Sometimes you have to keep the least profitable areas just to keep your market shares there. So don't quick to drop those areas. You may have a diversified product area that you're, and some will give you more returns than some. So what you need to do is manage your low profit area so that when you know it's taking a toll, and that's then you can move away from that area and focus on the high end. But I wouldn't say just immediately. Look at least return or least profitable area and move away from them, because there may be a reason why you have to keep there for the time being.
So what are some key indicators that your business is facing financial unfitness and you might not be viable?
Well, first of all, if you see yourself unable to cover your debts, pay your debts, you see that your profit is going down, the situation you find your staff leaving you and you have poor accounting records, those are signs that you're heading to unfitness. The business might not be viable.
After what period of time, though?
Well, you can look ahead. For instance, in a financial year, you're looking at your profitability. By the first half of that year, it's going down. You know it's going to impact your cash flow. So you may have to start to, take measures so as to mitigate against any future erosion of your cash flow or your working capital, so to speak.
Thank you so much, Errol.
Thank you.
Very useful.
Thank you.
And here's a recap of Errol's tips on preserving the financial future of your business.
Take account of what you're owed. When income is uncertain, budget at the lower end of your revenue. Monitor your budget frequently and make sure you have a standby line of credit.
And it's time now for our giveaway question. Errol.
What should you do if you're experiencing a negative cash flow?
Okay, answer over on EXIM Bank's Instagram page at EXIMBankJA, and you can win a lovely prize. Financial stability comes with many benefits, and hopefully what we discussed today will help you protect the financial future of your business. That's it for this episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with EXIM Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. Visit their website at eximbankja.com. I'm Kalila Reynolds. Stay safe.